This is like a bonus episode, I guess.
Cool.
Or it's like the real episode for the week, depending on how you look at it.
Sure.
Bonus.
Adventure Guys. Adventure Guys. Now it's time for Adventure Guys.
Ayo, what is up, friends, people, listeners, far and wide? Welcome to Adventure Guys, episode 9. I am Nick the Human.
I'm Eric the Human.
And we are joined once again by the illustrious Sean Harvey.
Sean the Human, what's up?
What's up? So, Sean, you were just on 2 episodes ago,
Yeah.
and we had to invite you back.
Cool.
And here's why. Episode 7, as Eric said, I'm going to quote you, you called it a watershed episode, and I think I would agree too.
Yeah. Monumental.
Monumental. Of the first 10, absolutely going to be stand out, like top couple eps, maybe the top ep. Hey, let us know what you think on did you see the mail at gmail.com, what your favorite ep's been so far. I would actually love that feedback. But anyway, we were super excited by episode 7, riding high. Going into episode 8, we were like, okay, we're doing this thing. And then we had a mishap. First off, the episode we recorded was pretty low energy. And secondly, I forgot to record it.
Womp womp.
Yeah, pretty classic. So then we recorded a lightning round for episode 8, which everyone's heard. You haven't heard it yet. But we were like, okay, we need to recalibrate. We need to get a bit of the magic back, and we need to, pick back up where we left off. And we needed to have Sean back. A reset.
Well, if I knew there was so much energy riding on this, I would have drank a bunch of yerba mate or a Monster and just gotten all jacked up beforehand.
That's okay. It's Sunday night when we're recording this. I think it's a good. Let's carry that Sunday night vibe. It's a little bit chiller.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
What have you been up to, Sean?
What have I been up to? I've taught a bunch of percussion lessons and played some drums at home, and I just started mixing the next Kraken Quartet record, so I've been working on that. Yeah.
it's sounding cool.
Thanks. Yeah, it's cool, and there's going to be a lot of new sounds on the record that were not on any of our previous stuff, so it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Is it really difficult to mix all that percussion?
Every Kraken song is a new mixing journey. So imagine when you're gonna mix a record, you get your drum sound, and then you all right, cool, here are my presets to mix every other song. Just forget about that. It's you have to start over from square one. A lot of times it's we almost have to start over from square one for every song, just depending on what we're looking for.
That must be so much work. I'm always daunted by that kind of concept of a lot of percussion in a sort of hi-fi studio recording setting.
Mm-hmm.
All the Snarky Puppies videos where they have all those extra percussionists, and the video editing and the audio editing has gotten so good in recent years. But if you look at some of their stuff from 9 or 10 years ago, you can see shots in their music videos where there's a percussionist wailing on something that's totally absent in the mix.
Oh, yeah, totally. Well, I think that they're doing a lot better about that stuff right now. And also on the inside, I know for a fact a lot of the content that's been coming out recently for Sput and Nate Worth, who's the drummer and the percussionist, is a lot of stuff that's been actually filmed by percussionists. Percussionists who took on videography as a trade. So
it's hyper specific.
Well, yeah, I know it's crazy, but dude, go look at Zildjian and Vic Firth's YouTube presence, and they have all these crazy, incredible videos of those guys playing. But so it's now there's just an attuned ear and sight for those video editors are now literally just percussionists who are oh, I can't put that shot there. He's not playing shaker there.
Yeah, that's good. That stuff makes me so frustrated when you see performance videos and they're focusing on the wrong thing or somebody playing a different part of the song.
Totally.
And it's whoever edited this was not a musician.
Yeah, like when I was watching the, I think what was the album, Ground Up. When I was watching the videos for Ground Up. It was almost like peeling back the curtain a little bit, where I was like so interested in how they mixed an album like that, and the audience is in there all in headphones. It's such a difficult recording situation, and you can sort of see like, oh well, actually they were making some decisions. Maybe not all of this is going to make the final mix.
Yeah,
and
totally.
just that realization sort of helped me in my fledgling career as a studio engineer at that point.
Yeah, for sure. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, or like it's not all going to stick. I feel like, especially with Kraken, and we're learning with this record and the record we just did with the singer, we actually recorded some stuff that just like didn't really work once the whole mix was there, and now it's like, I might take this thing out, might need to add that thing,
Yeah, I run into that with ska bands a lot. There's so many instruments happening all at the same time. Maybe the guy standing 7 people away from the other guy doesn't know what that guy's playing, and their parts don't necessarily rub the wrong way in a live performance, but when you get them in the box and you're listening back to the mix, like, oh yeah, these 2 parts maybe shouldn't have been arranged that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's even just on the outside, it's been really fun to watch Sean mix the Kraken record and see the process happening, because there's been a lot of like, I'll ask Sean, like, he's like, here, check out this, and it'll be cool, and it's like, we start having like really great conversations about like where the space that each instrument is going to take up, which is a huge part of mixing, but then thinking about like when you have instruments that are so close together and like where they sit in the frequency range, and like Sean tweaking it and using panning and volume and all, like everything at his disposal to get some like separation and have them clarity, there's the word, has been really cool. I mean, and like when we're listening to records in the car, like we'll talk about those things. It's been fun to be around.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
It's definitely an odyssey. It feels like I'm watching Sean wade out. As he's mixing like the first song, like, wading out in the water to go to sea. And it's like you're about to sail over the Atlantic, and if you make it, there's great riches. There's a whole new continent waiting for you.
Whole new world over there. Yeah, I like
you just got to get there, and it's gonna take a lot of paddling.
Yeah.
Very cool to be a part of.
That's a good metaphor for it. Thanks for that.
Yeah, well, you'll make it. It's not your first journey.
Yeah. Eric, what have you been up to?
Just trying to finish this final cover album from the Holophonics.
Cool.
It's really kicking my ass.
Nice. Are you allowed to know what's going to be on it?
No, I can't say it on air.
Ooh. I think you may have said it on another episode actually, but let's let some mystery live. Everyone can hear. But the cool thing is I mean, cool, but like this is your last covers project and you're about to be done with it.
That's cool.
Your 16th covers album.
That's insane.
Yeah. Really is.
Yeah.
This is monumental. Hey, a couple episodes back, we talked about how you would reward yourself after like finishing tasks or projects. Do you have a reward set up for when you finish this final covers album?
Yeah, well, I mentioned I want to start a Steven Universe watch through again.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I haven't watched the whole series since the season 6 epilogue season finished airing.
Sean, do you know about that show?
I do not.
Eric, want to give him the quick elevator pitch?
Yeah, sell me. I'm a New York bigwig exec. You met me in an elevator. You've got 7 seconds. What's the pitch?
Well, if you like Adventure Time,
7,
but
6,
want a greater focus
5,
on a sci-fi
4,
storyline throughout
3,
a fully developed
2,
show, then Steven Universe is for you.
1. Bing.
That was a great timing. I like that. All right, cool. I could buy in on that. You see, I like how you used something we all have in common, which is Adventure Time, and then you built it out from there. Thank you for that.
I mean, we've also talked about this on some other episodes, but there is direct lineage between Adventure Time and Steven Universe.
That's awesome. Cool.
And the creator of Steven Universe worked on a lot of Adventure Time episodes as a storyboard.
Oh.
artist.
And some of the most beloved episodes of the entire series.
Cool.
Rebecca Sugar, she comes up quite a bit.
But if you guys are interested, I mean, I would invite you to start watching Steven Universe, and we're doing an Adventure Time podcast, but
Mhm.
if you wanted to like leisurely watch through it at the same time that I'm watching through it, we can
Ooh.
talk about that a little bit.
Don't tempt Sean with a good binge. I think
Do
I
we
mentioned.
know? Do we have to talk about my binge habits on air?
I think I talked about rage binge on the. Did I talk about that on the Lost episode or on the episode that people are going to hear? They're so confused in my mind. Sean, we did an hour and like I went on multiple long-winded rants, and that
About me binging?
no.
shows?
One about film noir, one about Bill Callahan, and I may have talked about your rage binge.
Eric. Okay, I recently rewatched Avatar: The Last Airbender, and ask me how many days it took me to watch that show.
How many days did it take you to watch
Guess.
Avatar? 4.
It was actually 4. Good job. Yeah, it's 4 days.
Yeah, so I mean, this is something that
But also,
it's something that lots of people probably do, but is so basically is that Sean enjoys TV, but Sean is also a man of responsibilities and a life to uphold and maintain. So he can't be watching hours of TV every day. So what he does then is once he gets into the show is he then puts off those responsibilities besides like the ones he has to do that day and watches not just a couple hours of TV, but like 10 hours of TV in a row so he can just bang it out and move on with his life and have seen the TV.
yeah, I will say the biggest version of this was Breaking Bad. When Breaking Bad was on TV.
Not The Wire from the beginning of quarantine? When you watch like the whole second season in a day?
I did watch the whole second season of The Wire in one day. But Nick, I have to maintain when Breaking Bad came on the air, and it was my first year of grad school at UT, and everyone there who was in like the percussion studio that I was studying with, everyone was like talking about Breaking Bad. They wanted Breaking Bad, blah, blah, blah. I hadn't started watching it much, but I knew that there were like 2 episodes left in the whole show. Maybe like the series finale was like coming up really soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the entirety of Breaking Bad. I think it was in 5 days around going to class and stuff like that. So just so I could watch the finale with people.
Well, that show in particular is really the TV equivalent of a page turner, you know?
It really
you
is.
You have to put on the next episode immediately. You just really feel compelled to do that.
Yeah. And
I will say, do you remember the last season, the Fly episode?
I'm going to close my ears because
that was maybe my least favorite episode.
Well, that was the one where I fell asleep. That was the one that made me stop turning the page, and then I took a nap, and then I watched to the end of the show after that. All right, hey Nick,
Okay,
hey,
I'm back.
we're back. Nick's back.
I do like this method though because like I have never watched Breaking Bad because I'm like this is going to just destroy my life for a month because I'm going to be so into this and I'm like I want to be writing songs and exploring synthesizers and
Yeah.
and going for runs and I don't want to be like structure my life around TV. So I guess, but I still want to have seen it. I feel really left out. So I do like this concept, Sean.
Yeah, for sure. It's good. I have to be really, really careful of it because like I have to have an idle mind to get any musical task done that I want to get, whether I'm writing a song or mixing something or whatever. So like if there is some show in the back of my head that I'm like half done with right now, I'm not going to be able to like mix that song. I'm not going to be able to mix that next Kraken song. So I was like, all right, put it all down. Wire season 3. Let's go.
I identify. I mean, I'm not one of those people who holds this, like I brag about not having a TV. But when I moved to New York in like 2011, 2012, I did not have a TV for the first 4 years living there because work was so intense. And I was like, okay, I really want to get like some stuff done. I want to learn how to play music better. So I am not going. What are you doing with that water bottle? I cannot concentrate on what I'm saying.
I have a Hydro Flask that is, let's see. This is a 40-ounce Hydro Flask. I'm sitting here just drinking my water.
Okay.
I want to have two Hydro Flasks full of water a day. Apparently that's offensive to Nick, though.
No, I was hearing like crazy gulps. It distracted me. Anyway, okay, we can stop talking about binging TV. And maybe we can talk about TV.
Let's stop talking about binging TV. By the way, I am currently in a controlled binge of this show.
Yeah, Nick told me about that.
Yeah, I'm in season 1 right now.
I'm not. Sean was like, watch it with me, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna have to watch this show for like the next 5 years of my life. So I'm not gonna binge it and just burn myself on it.
Well, I'll just binge it and then I'll come back and watch it again. It's fine.
Okay, that's cool.
I remember on my first watch through, seasons 1 and 2 were a little bit of a hump to get over.
Oh yeah, we watched a lot of I've watched a lot of season 1 with Sean, and there's been some really great episodes, but it is such a different show.
Yeah.
Season 2
Totally.
though, I mean, season 2, episode 1, it came from the Nightosphere, which we started with. Like, is that like when it really starts hitting on like what the show is going to be?
Yeah, I think that's when Rebecca Sugar joined. I don't think she was involved on the first season.
Got it. You can feel it on that episode. Like that is like defines what the show is going to be. All right, let's. I've been trying to steer us towards discussing the episode. Can I call it? Are you guys ready?
Sure.
Stop it, dude. All right.
Discuss the episode.
Yes. Thank you.
Episode discussion.
Okay, so season 5, episode 49, Bad Timing.
This is a Lumpy Space Princess episode. Sean, we were.
Oh my glob.
Yeah,
this episode.
Sean, we were not excited. Like when we found out that it was a Lumpy Space Princess episode in LSP, we were like, God damn it. Like this is the world punishing us for just totally screwing up the 8th episode.
This episode was unprecedented levels of bonkers.
This was so strange for me. I was flabbergasted that this is an Adventure Time episode.
Yeah, it was better than I thought. Like this is like best case scenario for an LSP episode. Like this is a great episode.
So I definitely forgot most of what had happened in this episode. On this rewatch, I was like, oh, this is a time travel episode. And I love time travel. It is one of my favorite devices for storytelling. I love all sorts of time travel shows. I've said before, Futurama previously was my favorite cartoon before seeing Adventure Time.
Nice.
In the universe. But time travel, I love time travel. You can grab my attention with time travel or aliens.
A great new time travel movie. Did you see Palm Springs?
No, that's
Oh,
on
yeah.
Netflix.
It's on Hulu. It's with
Hulu. Okay.
Andy Samberg.
I don't have Hulu right now.
Oh, well, it's a great movie, and it's a time travel movie, and they use it in a new way. I was having a conversation with someone the other day about how they thought time travel was played out, and they didn't like seeing stuff with time travel. I was like,
man.
Yes.
People keep finding new and inventive ways to use time travel. And here's the great thing. Even if you don't find a new and inventive way, it's enough of a trope that we understand, and it can be just the groundwork for another story. Like you can just have any other kind of story existing in a time travel setting.
You're right.
And just time being displaced and it as a storytelling device for any like bunch of different ways where you can have all of the events of a story take place out of order. It just like completely reinvents how a viewer can like experience a story unfold.
It can. Even if it's not out of order, like, and it's told in a linear way, like this episode, I think what this is getting at and a lot of other time travel things get at is the value of experiences, even if they're not good experiences. Like, you realize that the bad experiences have a ton of value. When you take them away, like, you're losing something. You're losing a part of who you are or life or something. Like, and like that always hits me whenever I watch some time travel stuff,
Yeah. Well, it sets it up to be a time travel episode, and then they kind of don't do time travel.
Yeah.
Not till the
And
end.
it is more about that moral, about experiencing things, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of actual time travel.
Yeah, but also it's not. You're right. You're right. However, time travel as a device is immediately set up where LSP is like, oh, take me back to before this terrible thing in my life happened, which I feel like is one of the tropes around time travel. Like, oh, if I could just go back, like as a starting.
I mean,
point.
this is real Eternal Sunshine in my mind. This
Totally.
episode because it's using time travel and memory as a way to escape pain of a past romance.
Yes, of course.
Well, do we want to talk about it and sort of go through the plot very gingerly and talk about our highlights?
Sure, yeah. So it opens with Princess Bubblegum. I love Princess Bubblegum. She is great. She's announcing her new science invention to her friends by giving a trumpet recital.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And it's like jazz trumpet.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, and she sounds good too.
Yeah. She's so awesome.
She's great.
She is a real Renaissance princess.
Yeah.
She can do everything. Do it all.
Yeah, so she does that. She introduces it. The friends there are supportive. There's no anyone else from the scientific community or anyone really on her intellectual level there. Jake knows enough to kind of shit talk it and say that the Ice King had done it better.
Continuing on what I've come to see as a lineage of Jake talking down things and like nah man, let's not do that, whether it be like, whether it be, oh, I don't want to get involved with this, or let's not go on that adventure. Just lazy Jake, negative Jake,
Yeah, and then so he's doing that, and then who's the fish in this episode? It's like a fish with legs and a bell on his head.
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Okay, because I was like, I really like this character.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great for Jake to play off. I was like, damn, I want more of that guy.
Who is he?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I was looking online. I couldn't figure out who that was.
Also, I noticed in that opening community of people watching Princess Bubblegum's time travel reveal / trumpet recital, there was like this weird vascular baby fish thing inside of an
Embryo
orb.
princess.
What?
Embryo princess.
What is embryo prince? Okay, you just answered the question, but okay, I guess there's embryo princess. That's tight.
It's sort of a gag in the show is that there's all these kingdoms, lands, individual municipalities that are run by princesses, and the head of every establishment is a princess. Like even the library, right? The turtle princess runs the library. I don't know why. But so there's all these princesses, and as the show goes on, the kinds of princesses that are introduced just get more and more ridiculous. Like there's a breakfast princess who's made out of like bacon and French toast.
Oh, is that where the cinnamon roll's from?
No, he's a candy person.
Ah, well, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this embryo princess is not a speaking character in the whole series. I think she just shows up in a few random shots just to like be another random princess.
Gotcha.
And there was like a jar of punch or something, sort of
Punch bowl, yeah.
Okay. I don't know
Punch
about
bowl.
punch bowl.
Good name.
She's a character.
Okay.
Like she comes back in a real important role in the last season.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to that.
Same thing with Manfred the Pinata.
Oh,
Dude, that pinata was so chill in this app.
I didn't really understand what was happening in that. We're jumping ahead, but there's like an incident, and Manfred has taken care of it, and Princess Bubblegum is like, "Where's the banana security guys?" And Manfred's like, "Don't worry, I took care of it." But where were the bananas?
Dude, they're totally inept at their job.
Okay.
They're the worst security guards ever.
Bananas aren't even really candy, by the way.
Yeah, any true child could tell you that.
They must have been hired out.
Totally.
She should just make.
Is there a fruit kingdom with a fruit princess?
Not to my knowledge.
Not that we see.
Okay.
There's a berry princess. there's a berry kingdom.
Okay.
Well, bananas go well with berries, so
Nick puts that combo in his smoothie every morning.
yeah. So anyway, so the recital showing off this time travel. It's not magic like the Ice King. It's just science.
Yeah.
They're sure to note that. And then LSP is LSP drunk on the roof or something? Like
She's homeless.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think at this point in the show, she ran away from home or her parents kicked her out or something. So she just like lives in the woods or wherever she happens to wind up.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
And she's mourning some sort of heartbreak at the beginning of the episode. Like her ex-boyfriend, because she hears about this time travel contraption, busts through the window, and is like violently trying to get inside the time travel thing to
Oh my God,
take her back.
she's such a jerk.
I know she doesn't even bother to hear the instructions or how the thing works, even though Princess Bubblegum like lays it out to her. There's like basically two things that need to happen. You need to get inside, it scans your molecules, then we can time travel. And LSP doesn't even want to hear that, which is going to lead to disastrous consequences later in the episode. But it's just such a jerk. And then when she's like beating up Princess Bubblegum, taking out chunks of her hair, and like it's just so negative. I was glad that
really mean.
I was glad that Princess Bubblegum stood up for herself and was like, I will declare war on all of Lumpy Space unless you apologize.
And even then, LSP could not give a real apology.
Yeah, and then Jake and I think the Punch Bowl are like egging her on as she disses Princess Bubblegum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. And then you get the I'm sorry.
Oh, just forever this time.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then
As much as I dislike LSP, she was really enjoyable in this episode. It was like fun to dislike her.
It was. It was. I have more thoughts on that, but I'm gonna bring it up as we go along. Then we go to Candy Tavern. I don't know if Candy Tavern's ever been shown before, but I really loved the idea of Candy Tavern. It really delighted me.
I loved that Tree Trunks was doing karaoke in there.
Oh God. Okay, so this
I
hasn't
loved
come yet.
that too. Sean and I were like, "Holy shit! It's that goddamn elephant."
I was like, what the hell is that elephant's deal?
Tree Trunks might be the only character I dislike more
What?
than LSP.
Oh my God.
Really? Then LSP?
Yeah, I cannot stand Tree Trunks. She makes me so uncomfortable.
I know. I like that, but she's well intentioned, right?
I don't know.
I haven't seen enough Tree Trunks. We just watched the Tree Trunks episode from the first season.
Oh, I hate it. It's my least favorite episode. It
Really?
makes me so mad.
Oh.
But she's trying her best, and it's just like an old, almost senile old lady, it seems like.
Yeah, that episode is like what, like episode 6 or something?
Yeah.
And I was like, at that point, Harold, you recommended I watch this show? Are you serious? What were you thinking? Like, like I was mad at Harold.
Oh, wow. I kind of like that episode because it's like testing Finn in this new unprecedented way I didn't think Finn would be tested, which is like patience for an old lady.
I will also say, Eric, I heard you talk on a previous ep about how one episode ending device is to just take conflict to like some absurd place that can never be solved, and then it's just the episode's over. And that episode 6, I think, had the most absurd ending I've ever seen, and it was absolutely astounding.
Sean and I like watched. We had to rewind it and watch it twice, and we keep talking about it because it was so incredible.
It made me so angry watching it for the first time. I was like, because like the drama keeps building, and I'm like looking at like this episode's been on for like 10 minutes. How are they going to get out of this? And then they didn't. And I was like, what? What did I just watch? What is happening?
I loved
What is
that.
this
I
show?
loved that ending. Okay, well,
But also, I saw that ending for the first time in the context of hearing you guys talk about that on the podcast. So then I was like, oh, well, I guess this is just like a story tactic they use sometime. All right. And then all of a sudden that happened, and I was like,
so here's
that
what
was
happens.
awesome.
We're talking about it, but everyone, in this episode 6, they're taking Tree Trunks to take a bite out of this like mystical apple in the middle of the most evil forest. And Tree Trunks is an old lady with a weak heart that if she gets too worked up or scared, might actually die. But they really want, like, it's kind of like before she dies, Finn and Jake ask her what she wants to do. What's her kind of like last thing she wants to do before she, like, on the bucket list. She says this, so they take her, and she's just so old and inept and like naive that it keeps getting them into trouble. Anyway, after trials and tribulations, they get to the end, and the apple is there, and Tree Trunks takes a bite of the apple and then just disappears.
But it looks like she explodes. It's like pop, like she pops like a balloon,
and everyone's face is like, what? And then
it goes silent, like,
yeah, silent. Everyone's faces are just, and then all of a sudden you see inside the apple Tree Trunks running around and laughing.
And then the show ends.
Yeah.
And now Tree Trunks is back. I don't know how Tree Trunks gets out of the apple.
How is Tree Trunks back in the tavern now?
There's an episode, it might be later in season 1 or season 2, where that actually gets resolved.
Okay.
Where
cool.
It's like a 2-parter spanning like 50 episodes or something. And by the time I got to that episode, I had a little bit of a better understanding of the show. I was like, oh, okay, so they are going somewhere with this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, Tree Trunks is back. Love her or hate her. And and then LSP goes to the bar and is getting like a cucumber soda or something, and next to her is this guy who's like, hey, I know you, and she's like, of course you do, I'm Lumpy Space Princess, everyone knows me. And it's just like,
get off your high horse.
Yeah. And then he goes, no, we went to school together, I'm Johnny. Oh, ugly Johnny. And it's like,
it's like there's no way you could make anyone could make any situation worse than you do every single time you open your mouth.
And this guy Johnny is just so nice. And I guess in there, it was kind of confusing to me because I was like, within 2 sentences, Lumpy Space Princess has forgotten about this past heartache that was so intense and is now just throwing herself into this Johnny situation within moments. But it's kind of paying off, and it's helping Johnny. Johnny gets the confidence, is standing up. They go back to his like Airbnb that he's subletting, and they have like a really like couple nice moments. And this is the first time I've ever liked Lumpy Space Princess. Like, we're actually seeing like the good side of her, like not the heartbroken anxiety part, but like now she's in the relationship and she's being sweet, genuinely sweet to Johnny.
Yeah, that's true.
Sort of. She's like, I'm going to send him good vibes, and then she doesn't give a shit about it.
Well, wait. No, so before that, we have to talk about at night when they come in, and he goes, the chair.
Oh, I wrote it down.
This chair, you see that chair? It used to be over there, and then I moved it over here.
And then Lumpy Space Princess says, wow, Johnny, you really made this place your own.
Which is great. Oh, records.
Oh, the
this
records.
gag I love this gag.
Yeah.
The Frank Zappa record.
Yeah, and it's a Zappa, exactly.
Yeah.
Nick pointed that out to me, that it was a Zappa record.
So I tried to see what it said on the record, and it was partially obscured. But we haven't talked about this. The ring around this episode.
Yeah, the void or whatever.
It's like, okay, this entire episode, I felt really claustrophobic because we're viewing this through like a circular lens. It's not the full screen, and it just made me really antsy the entire time. And for whatever reason, maybe jokes landed harder and I thought things were funnier just because I was like so out of my element and on edge watching this episode, like sort of half obscured, not being able to see anything.
No doubt there was claustrophobia. I felt that, Eric.
Yeah, I was so anxious watching this episode because of that filter on it. But I couldn't make out everything that it said on the record. But the first name of the artist was Spank.
So
I couldn't see the last name, but the name of the album was Ellipses.
Oh, and the real record is apostrophe.
Yeah,
cool. So it's like yeah.
That's what.
Wow, so they're very aware of Frank Zappa on that very deep level. Someone really Easter egged that in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're acting like it's like, oh, is that Frank's? Like, it is Frank Zappa's face.
No, I know it's Frank Zappa's face. I'm just saying someone being like, oh, yeah, we're going to literally put this album cover on there. We're going to make it very clear.
Yeah.
Like, and in all likelihood, that could be a 1,030-year-old LP.
Oh, right.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's true. At this point, and then they do the gag where she puts it on her face head, and it's like the same size as her head, and yeah, it's
Yeah, and then Johnny's like, "Oh man, it's like the record face is your face," and then Lumpy Space Princess is like, "Oh, I know."
And then they go to bed, and she's like, "You have a big day," and he comes out the next day and is like, "Oh, she's gone, like the one that got away," and then she's at the kitchen table and goes, "Oh, you looking for me? Make me breakfast," and like slams her hands up and down. And I was like, I'm like, this is almost genuinely cute. I was like, I can't believe I'm feeling that way about Lumpy Space Princess.
Yeah, for sure.
This is genuinely cute. And then she's like, "I'm gonna send you good vibes," and it was so adorable the way Johnny's going into the meeting confident and is not scared because my GF's at home sending me good vibes. I was like, this is so wholesome.
My GF after they met 12 hours prior.
Yeah.
Also, the meeting, he must have left the meeting and come back within 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Very short timeline on this whole episode, if you ask me.
It is. But Eric, she sends him good vibes, then she watches a movie which she doesn't enjoy. But then she goes, "Oh my God, Johnny's meeting." Like, I don't know, I think she cared. I think she legitimately cared about the success of Johnny's meeting.
Okay, yes. However, Eric, maybe this is what you're getting to too, but as soon as he's like, "Oh, sorry, it's a business meeting."
No. So then the meeting goes well and says, "I'm going to have dinner tonight with Princess Bubblegum."
Yeah.
And LSP assumes she's invited and goes, No, I'm sorry. It's a business dinner. You can't come." And then this is what happens.
Well, then Lumpy Space Princess just goes off the rails and is like, "Oh wow, okay, I'm like literally not in support of this at all," and just gets out, gets really mad and leaves.
And at that point, I was again really frustrated with LSP, and this might be one of the few instances where the 11-12 minute episode doesn't do it justice, because I feel like we didn't get enough time to live with Lumpy Space Princess in that cute, adorable, fun zone, because then now she's back into terrible Lumpy Space Princess again. Like, we got like 3 minutes of good Lumpy Space Princess, and that simply was not enough for me to like really care about her or like be like, you know what, Lumpy Space Princess is kind of all right. And I feel like that was what was supposed to happen, you know, because then she goes and he goes to the dinner and she gives this whole soliloquy about how she gives her heart fully and completely into these relationships because the payoff will be true love and it'll be so great. But she's placing her heart in the hands of these other people that are just going to break it. And she goes out and she goes, you know, I have to be a strong person and see the person I love in the hands of another woman, but I don't think I'm that strong. And then launches a Molotov cocktail.
Yes.
And this is after she saw Johnny say, "I met the most wonderful purple girl at the Candy Tavern." Like, he's in the dinner talking about her and she's just like not even paying attention. And it's so infuriating. And then she launches the Molotov cocktail and then cuts the brakes on this bus and sends it going into Princess Bubblegum's castle. And
it's on a gas tanker.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
It should have caused a lot more damage.
Yeah. But I'm just like, God damn it. I'm like, you suck. And then it just only goes downhill more and more from there. Sean, do you want to talk about the cyanide?
Yeah, so
Yo, there was some really violent and heavy shit here.
Princess Bubblegum is literally just like, stay here. If things go wrong.
Well, because after we got to give context. The explosion happens. She hears it and says that the castle and the kingdom must be under attack. I'm going to go find out what it is. If they break through the door,
there's cyanide bubblegum under the table. And that
so dark.
That floored me.
And
that floored me that the show went there.
It is. And also that if my enemies get inside, you're better off killing yourself than you are like putting up a fight. Like, who would be attacking them? That would be the best cause of action. I don't know. It was insane. And then
Also, do we know Princess Bubblegum to like have that temperament in terms of attacks
Yes.
and enemies thus
Yes.
far? We
Yes.
do?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's totally in character.
All right. Cyanide is in the
she's
Princess
a true
Bubblegum
princess. Like she is ready for battle and war when it comes, as we've seen in our journey. And then Lumpy Space Princess comes in underneath the table. He's like, "Wait, what are you doing here?" And she goes, "I have to go back in time when you were still in love with you." Not even asking Johnny what's going on, how do you love me? Not even having a conversation. Just throws the thing on.
And Johnny's like, "What?"
Yeah. Throws the time travel thing on, disintegrates Johnny, and throws him into a void because she incorrectly used the time travel machine.
And he goes into the void in 2 pieces.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god.
And he goes into the void.
Disturbing.
So then he's sent into the void, which is, as Eric was describing, is the perimeter in which we are seeing this episode. Because, right, as we discussed, the episode action is being shown in this little circle, and around the circle, there's like these kind of watercolory, trippy animations happening, where there's like a lot of simple drawn characters, and that is where Johnny goes. And then LSP uses the time travel thing to go back to the bar, except now the bar is desolate and nobody's there, and she can't find
she
Johnny.
just goes back to the bar.
Yeah, I don't think
She
she
doesn't
uses
know
the
how to
time
use the
travel
time
thing.
travel
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so
But-
this whole episode with this fuzzy like frame around the main story, I think the first time I saw it, I was under the impression that maybe this is being set up to like we're looking through the machine into the past and we're seeing something that already happened and they're going to try and change it. And then they get to that point where she disintegrates Johnny into the void, and it's like, oh no, wait, this was all happening in real time, actually, and she just disintegrated this person, and he's gone now, and there's no taking it back. What's happening?
Yeah. And then the cruelest joke of all is now Johnny is out there, but it's clear that he can see what's happening in the middle of the screen. And he turns his attention to seeing LSP, his GF, and Princess Bubblegum talking.
And then he's clearly really sad about it.
He's sad about it. He can't be with them. And then he has to watch LSP erase the memory of him and the relationship from her mind because it's too painful. So now he doesn't even have that to hold on to. His love has erased him. And that's pretty heavy.
Very Eternal Sunshine, like you said.
Yeah.
That's the most
And-
Eternal Sunshine.
And Princess Bubblegum has no recourse. Like, there's nothing to offer LSP. He's like, yeah, I guess this sucks.
Yeah, you didn't.
Sorry about it.
You didn't
And
use
then
this.
she pours herself a drink.
You didn't use this correctly. You used it incorrectly, and these are the consequences of your actions. And then here's another thing that happens is that LSP goes, "Take me back before I knew him." So Princess Bubblegum grants her that wish, takes her back to where she really was at the beginning of the episode before she met Johnny. And she is immediately in the exact same emotional state, mourning a lost love, and yells at Princess Bubblegum using the same language she used earlier, thus showing, okay, you need these experiences to grow as a person, otherwise you'll just repeat them. That's one thing. But also, it's like she was mourning one lost love, and then she goes back in time and then is mourning a lost love. So it's sort of like, if we were to go back to the way we were, like, don't paint the past in with this rose-colored glasses or whatever. Like that the past was like, you were probably hurting back then too. You've just forgotten about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of entering that where it's like, the past isn't as great as you might be painting it out to be. And you might be better off present even with this pain.
Yep. No character development
Nope.
for LSP.
No, not at all.
And now this brings me to a point I wanted to talk about, which Eric and I had said, Sean, which was, does anybody like LSP? And is LSP anybody's favorite character? And again, if LSP is your favorite character, I would love to hear from you. Please email us at didyousethemail@gmail.com or on Instagram at Adventure Guys Podcast. Because this episode really, like, at the end of the episode, Sean and I looked at each other and just said, she sucks.
Dude, she totally sucks.
Like, she's not a redeemable character. And I went online in search of kind of what if there was any critical consensus on this episode, and to see like, okay, the people who are writing TV reviews, like, do they like Lumpy Space Princess like as a character? And I found some really high praise for the episode, like really great reviews. I think the use of the outside, like the void, the circle, and then everything happening outside of it, people were like, that is really cool, and really liked that. And I found that the AV Club gave it an A and were really fond of it. And I think the New Yorker said this too, and they were kind of like, they gave Lumpy Space Princess like pathos and like, or pathos, however, I think it's pathos, and like a reason that she acts the way she does, and she is so passionate, and we get to see both sides of that passion, the destructive but also the good parts. They were like, this is why Lumpy Space Princess is such an enjoyable character and a wonderful character in the show. I know, I was like, you are fishing way too hard on this episode. Like, I do not agree. I'm like, look, it's a great episode, looked awesome. These themes really did hit and hit us hard, but let's stop at saying that she's a wonderful character, you know?
Yeah, I feel bad hating on LSP so much because it is Pendleton Ward's character. Like,
I know.
It's the only one that he voices. But what comes to mind? Archer, right? The creator, Adam Reed.
Yeah.
He voices Ray. Is that the character's name on Archer? Did you watch the show?
Yeah, but I haven't seen it in a while. Which one's Ray? Oh, yeah.
He's the blonde gay guy.
Yeah.
And he winds up being like the butt of a lot of jokes and kind of the punching bag.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess they all are in that show, but he's like the creator of the show, doing a character that doesn't get a lot of wins.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's like some sort of self-sacrificing move that show creators like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I noticed something about the void. I don't know if we want to talk about, you know how there were all those characters in there, like around the void as it was happening, the simple drawn characters, the little blobs, the triangles, the square, whatever. I don't know if any of us noticed, and maybe I'm thinking too far. I'm like literally kind of been putting this back together in my head of like, who are these characters? Who are these weird little squares and triangles and stuff like that? And I don't know if any of you noticed that they were doing activities and events that in some way seemed kind of symbolic of what was going on in the episode as it was happening. So like as Lumpy Space Princess and Johnny were just like living like normal life, they were like at the bar kind of trying to like get to know each other more. There were triangles in the bottom right hand corner that were fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like they seemed like they, you know, like fishing, like maybe you're like getting to know each other more.
Yeah.
And then the very next day when it was time for Johnny to go to the meeting and Lumpy Space Princess was there trying to pump him up, there was the diamond guy who was lifting weights, like he was trying to be strong. And then at the end, when everything was going wrong, there were like two triangles or squares in the bottom right-hand corner again, like literally just shooting arrows at each other, trying to shoot each other with arrows, like at the most like problematic moment.
Great observation.
Yeah, it was hard to focus on all the things that were happening in that void, but
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was sort of like sensory overload while being deprived of senses, having a narrower vision of the actual storyline. It was so weird. I was all over the place, like trying to focus on different things here.
That's true.
Those were, I think, the characters in the void were people from Princess Bubblegum's experiments with the time machine.
Oh,
yeah, I read that online too.
Okay.
So, which makes sense that you know, we see Johnny in there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we're supposed to believe that they can live happy lives in this void, and we don't have to feel bad for Johnny.
Yeah, because you see some characters in love out there and like generally enjoying themselves. So
those two little characters from the very beginning that we see her in the episode, like in the middle of the screen, do the time travel experiment on. Do we see them in the void later on?
I don't think those two pop up.
Okay.
Yeah. Which was interesting in the beginning.
They're unsuccessful experiments.
To demonstrate the time travel, there's two molecules, and Princess Bubblegum explains how the time travel is going to work. And the two molecules, they're there. One chugs a bottle of something, spits it out, and then goes and kisses the other molecule. And I was like, what is this symbolizing?
I'd have to go see if they were. I'd have to go see if that was like, you know, what the shape under a microscope of like those different molecules are. But like, I wonder if it was supposed to be like H2O, like hydrogen and oxygen, because then there was like a storm cloud over them, and then the rain happened, and then they started kissing each other.
Oh, great point.
Maybe it's like
That's
water
smart.
Molecules being formed.
That is smart.
That could be cool. I hope it's
Maybe
right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I do want to just jump back for one quick second onto the LSP discussion and this AV Club review. And here's the quote that I found, which was, just before LSP sends her new boyfriend out of time, she delivers a touching monologue that illustrates why she's such a great character on this show. Heartbroken after seeing Johnny at a business dinner with Princess Bubblegum, LSP desperately needs to vocalize her feelings. And it goes on to describe what happens. Now, I guess what's interesting is when you think about what makes a good character is not necessarily liking a character. Like a character that frustrates you could be a good character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I guess through that lens, I can understand how the person who's reviewing this, like what they're saying.
I feel that way about, we haven't done an episode yet with him, but Magic Man is an intensely unlikable character on the show, but I think he's a great one.
Yeah. I don't know if and that sounds good. I guess I just don't know if at the end of the day I agree with this writer. You know what I mean?
I was just going to say the whole like multi-dimensionality of the episode with the void and everything makes it a completely rewatchable episode, except for the fact that it centers LSP. Literally, if anyone else was in this episode in the center, I'd be so much more inclined to go back and give this like several watches.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, as we were watching it, there was so much to look at. It was like a lot of overstimulation, even for Adventure Guys or Adventure Time. But I was trying to look in the void for the snail.
Yeah, I thought to look there also.
Oh man. Well, I gotta ask, Eric and Sean, did you see it?
Sean, did you see the snail?
Yes, I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Where?
Okay, so
Well, let's ask everyone else.
Yeah.
Nick, did you see the snail?
No, I did not. Eric, did you see the snail?
Yes, I did.
Ooh. Wait, let's see, because in my...
Oh, shit.
Oh,
no. The wager.
What wager?
Oh, there's a wager. There's a bet.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Well, I want to see if... Because for me, I was like, I caught it for a split second. And I think it was only on the screen for a split second. So I want to see, Eric, where did you see the snail?
Yeah, let's make sure that you guys saw at the same point.
Okay, so this actually opened up a lot of possibilities for where the snail can be.
Yes.
Because the snail was shrouded in shadow.
Yes, it was.
It didn't even occur to me that the snail might have a different color palette depending on the lighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the snail was on a balcony as LSP is coming down from spying on Princess Bubblegum.
That's in the beginning of the episode?
No, right before LSP is going to throw the Molotov cocktail and like wreak havoc. She's like sitting on a balcony, and as she's jumping off the balcony, they do a cut to her jumping off the balcony for like half a second, and the snail's there.
Wow.
It was so quick.
Yeah.
I can't believe you guys saw it, because at that point, I was really looking, especially the second viewing, I was looking, and I guess at that point, the emotional, everything's been heightened so far, and my mind was focused on other things.
But Eric's point is so true, where I was like, whoa, like, holy hell, is that it? It's just in shadow. It's just dark. It's just the silhouette of the snail.
Yeah. Well, Nick, how do you want to do this?
Oh, boy. Well, do I present the song next week?
Well, it should should technically be for this episode.
Oh, so now the song would play. So, Sean, the wager that was made in episode 8, the lightning round, was whoever sees the snail next, whoever doesn't see it, like if one of us sees the snail and the other one doesn't, the person who didn't see it has to write the other person a song, like a congratulations song.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So now,
So does Sean get a congratulations song?
I don't.
I'm a guest. I don't have to get involved with this.
Well, maybe I'll see if I can work it in creatively. Oh no! So that means I have to do this really quickly. Oh boy! All right. Well, I'll give it my go. Here's the song. Well, you beat me, you goose, at what we all agreed to do. And until next time a pact is made, you'll both be the champions. You're number one. Yeah, both of you. Yeah, Rick and Sean, that's right. There's two of you, but still you're both somehow one. Congratulations, Eric and Sean. Yeah, both of you, you're number one, that's right. There's two of you, but you're both somehow one. Yeah, one. You're both two people, but you're both number one. Well, that was sure an episode of Did You See the Snail?
Yep. Thank you so much for the song, Nick. I appreciate it a lot.
Oh boy. All right. Is it time for Miscellanea Mania?
Oh, does this segment have a theme song?
Should it? Are we gonna go, Sean? Let's get your feedback on this.
Okay.
We needed a real title for the trivia factoids, making ofs, like portion of the episode, like the segment.
Miscellanea Mania.
Yeah, that was Eric's idea.
That's good.
Do you have any ideas? What do you think of Miscellanea Mania? Yay, nay.
Feels good. Yay.
Okay.
Very hard. Yes.
All right.
Approve.
All right. Well, I guess play that Miscellanea Mania theme song.
Oh, there's things you may not know. Those Eric and Nick will show you all the trivia in Miscellanea Mania. High def version coming soon. Lots of new songs in this app. Well, I guess one thing to talk about, which I need to I've been holding off on reading up about this, but obviously a big part of the Adventure Time lore is Pendleton Ward's involvement and his stepping away from the role of show creator and almost maybe sort of quitting the show happened during the 5th season.
His role as showrunner.
The showrunner, yeah.
Which is, it's sort of, I'm not even really sure if that's like a defined job. I think it's like different show to show. Like every show has a showrunner, but I think the job responsibilities on each show differ so wildly.
And you can do them differently. And I'm sure like being a showrunner on an animated show is a different task from being a showrunner on, like a live action show of any sorts. But at the end of the day, on your shoulders rests the show getting done and like almost producing.
That's the whole thing, right? Is like, I will make sure this show gets completed.
Yeah. And if anyone at any of the respective departments has questions, they come to you. And I think he's talked about as the show's getting more popular, there's the gaming and the merchandising and the brand that has to be maintained, which he is at the helm of. And season 5, they make a shitload of episodes.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask about that for a second. Holy hell, there's 51 episodes, 52 episodes in this season? That's insane.
I think that used to be standard for 11-minute cartoons.
Whoa.
Because when you think about like your typical half-hour network shows, they usually get like 22, 23 episodes.
Yeah.
So
like
that.
would they air 2 at a time?
Sometimes.
Okay. To fill a half-hour block.
Yeah, and I guess that's pretty standard. Like when you think about Nickelodeon.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Cartoon Network. I mean, I guess I don't know these days. I haven't been watching it, but back in the day, Nickelodeon would always do 30-minute blocks, and you'd get 2 11-minute
guys.
Yeah. And then on Cartoon Network, they started just airing, 11-minute blocks, which is kind of cool. But it's a lot. It's a lot of episodes. I guess at this point, I read online that when this episode came out, it's 49. It was only the second episode that had Pendleton Ward attached as like a writer, storyboard artist, I believe.
Huh.
The second episode of that season. And yeah, I mean, I'm interested to read more about that. We've got so long to go in this podcast that, quite honestly, like I have been really pacing myself with how much of this stuff I devour. Like, Sean, as you know, like I love lore and like making ofs and behind the scenes. So I've been kind of saving that a little bit till we get a little deeper into the show, because I feel like that could be. We've even talked about that, Eric, about doing an episode about like how episodes of Adventure Time are made, and like maybe doing an episode on the book and things of that nature.
Yeah, as soon as I get either this contract I'm working on finished and get paid, or I get that second stimulus check, fingers crossed, I will buy the Adventure Time Art of Ooh book, and hopefully that gives me some insight that we can go off of.
Well, when you do it, maybe I'll get it at the same time, and we can like. It'd be good to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there any trivia you guys wanted to?
I saw that a great deal of it was censored in other countries.
Oh,
of course.
Again.
Yeah. Well, a Molotov cocktail.
Oh.
I saw that. I was like, no way, this makes it through.
Yeah, Sean. This is the thing: is that in different countries are censoring portions of the episode.
Really?
Of the episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess Cartoon Network Latin America also censored out a lot of the risque sort of quasi-romantic talk from LSP.
Like which, which parts?
So she's like, "Oh, ugly Johnny," and he's like, he's like, "Yeah, I wish you didn't call me that," and she's like, "Well, I can't say that now," and then she has him like sit up straight, and then literally the whole circle of the ep is just only Lumpy Space Princess face, and she's like, "Yeah, definitely can't say that now," and it's like super drawn out, and it's like clearly like she's like, "Yo, you're hot. I'm hitting on you right now."
Yeah, there were some lines of that conversation that were cut out, and like the weird when they're back at his place and he's saying that she's going to sleep on the couch. They took that out.
Interesting, because I found that like nice and respectable.
That was like the most wholesome part of it.
Yeah,
I was like, oh well, we're not going to create any question about what the nighttime situation is here. Like she's on the couch.
Yeah, and they were both like on the same page about that. I found it very respectful and nice.
What didn't she say something though? Like when she was going back to his place, was like, "Oh, where are you staying? Oh, that's awesome. Like,
you better hurry up and take me there."
Oh yeah, you better hurry up and take me there. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that probably got
cut out.
censored. Yeah,
it must have been cut out. Also, I wanted to say, Johnny lives in like a rundown part of the Candy Kingdom.
Well, he's renting this place.
He's renting a place in a rundown part of the Candy Kingdom. Like when Lumpy Space Princess leaves the apartment to walk away. And then we see Nick's favorite random ass character there, just being like, "Who are you talking to?" You get like a wide shot of like the neighborhood Johnny is staying in, and it's like busted windows, dilapidated housing. It's like, this is a part of Princess Bubblegum's kingdom.
Yeah,
it's like, that's interesting. All right, well, this is a side of Adventure Time I've never seen.
Yeah. Well, Eric, that's cool. That's some good trivia. I like hearing about what's censored and what's not. I think about that sometimes as I grow older, is that like when you're a kid, or even like in my, teen years, you kind of know where the line is. You know what I mean? Like there is a line. It's very firmly communicated to you. And now as an adult, like I was thinking about that the other day about someone was talking about on a TV show about like what curse words they could say and couldn't say. And it's just like, oh yeah, like you're not supposed to say the F word like all the time. Like that offends people, because in my day-to-day it's just like, say whatever you want.
Yeah, some possible insight into that situation. I listened to the when it was airing the official Cartoon Network Steven Universe podcast.
Oh, cool.
And they had Rebecca Sugar on a lot. And she talked about this basically years-long battle that she had with Cartoon Network. And there's a really iconic episode in season 5 of Steven Universe, which is basically a lesbian wedding.
Oh.
And I mean, the characters are not human women. They're alien, non-binary femme people. But it's presented as an Earth regular human wedding with 2 women. And she wanted to do that episode super early in the show. And there was so much pushback from Cartoon Network on it. And she said it was like this crazy, long, drawn out thing to get this episode in. It wound up being one of the last episodes of the series run. And the reason that Cartoon Network gave her was it would be fine in America because America has TV ratings that are graded a little bit more specifically. Like there's TV G, then TV PG, or TV Y7, or however it goes, then TV 14. But in a lot of the other international countries where they air, Steven Universe was a TV G show.
Right. And displaying a non-heteronormative wedding would require a raise.
Right, and that's the fucked up thing about it. And
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, so you can't show weddings like in these countries? You can't show weddings on kids shows?" It's like, "Oh, well, you can show weddings, but not anything controversial." Like, how is this controversial? It's I forget what year that episode finally aired, like 2018 maybe.
Do we know if it got on the air in other countries?
I'm pretty sure it did.
Okay.
But I think she wanted it to be on the air in like 2012 or 2013 or something like that, and that was just too early.
Yeah.
So
I mean, hey, then even America has come such a long way in those years.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we didn't even have full legalization of same-sex marriage here until 2015. But you'd think that in other countries, like, they were way ahead of us on that particular issue.
Depends, I guess, on the country.
Yeah.
But that is fucked up. I mean, you also have to wonder about what Cartoon Network would think about it now, because now that Adventure Time has wrapped, when you go online, the romance between Marceline and Princess Bubblegum seems to be like one of the fan favorite, like if not the thing that the fans love the most about the show. Like we've gotten on Instagram, and I've just started to like kind of like see what the fan community is talking about a little bit more closely and like diving deep. And that is like in sorts of fan art and appreciation posts. That is what you find on Instagram when you type in like Adventure Time fan art or whatever, or Adventure Time memes. Like it's all centered around that. So which is cool, which is great. And I guess it would hopefully show Cartoon Network like, hey, like lean into this, like show these things.
I think they have been more recently. I mean, Adventure Time has a very strong queer fan base because there's a lot of queer subtext. Steven Universe it's not even subtext. It's much more prominent in the main story, but it's not presented as queer or anything. It's
just a story, and these are the genders of the people in the story. That's what they happen to be.
Yeah. And thus there is a huge queer audience for it, rightly so. But yeah, I think it's moving in that direction, and some almost universal acclaim. I think it finds its fan base, and people that aren't into that, they're just not watching it, I guess.
You gotta believe, if you're watching these shows, I guess you could be a kid and you could have a conservative parent, and the parent's like, what the hell is this TV show? But I feel like by and large, if you're watching Adventure Time or Steven Universe, like, I would think that you're kind of on board with these. Although, what the hell am I saying? Like, I've been on the internet. I know that's not true.
Yeah. But, also, these two shows that we're talking about in particular have a huge millennial fan base.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why Adventure Time went on for 10 seasons, because they had the ratings from the millennial demographic to last that long.
Yeah, it's not a Gen Z exclusive show or something.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Great.
Cool.
This is a great segment of Miscellanea Mania. I said it right.
Miscellanea Mania.
Nice.
Cool. Well, then let's pick the episode we're going to watch for next week.
What are we gonna watch next week? What are we gonna watch? It's the episode generator.
Okay, so episode 32, which is season 2, episode 6, Slow Love.
Ooh, we're going back. What's Slow Love about, Eric?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I want. It's been so cool because we keep getting new. We're exploring new characters in every episode that we do. I wonder if we're gonna keep it going.
Oh, I remember this episode. It's kind of funny.
You want to explain it a little bit?
Oh my god.
What?
No, I don't want to explain it a little bit.
Oh, okay. Okay, I brought it up a little bit. Well, it seems like a lot of Jake in this episode.
Yeah. It's a Finn and Jake episode. They're helping out just another character that they come across.
All right. Well, I'm in the mood for a Finn and Jake episode.
We're going to have a fun time with it.
Okay, great. I'm excited. Cool. Well, this is cool. Sean, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, this has been fun.
I'm glad we got 2 eps in a week in again.
Yeah. This was
nice.
Something of a deluxe sized episode. I think we went pretty long today.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Make up for last week's lightning round.
Yeah. Or earlier this week.
Yeah, I heard that lightning round song. It's a good song.
The 80s power metal version.
It's the Bill and Ted version.
The Wild Stallions version.
Wild Stallions.
Did you watch the new Bill and Ted?
No, not yet.
I didn't either. I've heard.
I want to rewatch 1 and 2 before I.
Oh, yeah.
3.
I've seen 1 and 2 like quite a few times. Those movies I know. I'm excited to watch the third. I've heard some mixed things from friends, but like I'm going to watch it.
Nice. Eric, I got to ask you a question. So, Nick and I have been listening to records a lot while we like cook food and whatever. And have you ever heard of the Congos? It's like
I don't think
it's
so.
like a Lee Scratch Perry band who like he's like the reggae producer that just like absolutely pumped out records in the 70s.
Yeah.
And it's just like this one record that like at the time it was like clearly he just like had to get another record out for his label and like very, very quickly put out this record of a band that just like put this one thing out. And then like at the time, supposedly no one really talked about this record at all. But like over the last like 15 years, people have like discovered this like awesome record. It's called The Heart of the Congos.
Yeah, it is.
And it's reggae?
It's reggae.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like dub.
It's dubbed out. The production is pretty.
It's dubbed, but not necessarily in like the cliche sort of, King Tubby sort of dub. It's a little bit different. I don't know. I guess like it's in my mind, some of the dub cliches are not present in there, but there is like a ton of reverb and delay and things.
There's a ton of reverb. The drums are produced in this really crazy, like dark way where it's like the highs are unbelievably rolled off, but then there's just like effects that are like really bright over the top of it and everything. It's ridiculous. And the band centers around like there's like a high wispy singer who's like singing in falsetto the whole time, but it's like the Congos is like 4 or 5 singers who sing everything in like 5-part harmony, like reggae songs in 5-part harmony.
Yeah, and then Lee Scratch Perry mixed it along with the scientists.
Okay.
And it is great. I mean, like I think for Sean, I have it in my record collection like that. I don't know if you have these where it's like cornerstone records in your collection, where like if you had to pare your record collection down to like 20 records, you don't collect records, right?
No.
But say you did. If I had to pare it down to 20 or 30 records, like this is one that stays in there because it's such like it's probably my favorite reggae record of all time at this point, just based off of sheer listens and how happy it makes me when I put it on.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Would you say?
Yeah, if that entered my record collection, it would stay forever.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll check it out. I've been getting more into dub stuff recently. I'm thinking about doing a chiptune dub record.
Oh, yes.
Whoa.
I would love to collaborate.
It's just like all like triangle wave bass lines.
Yeah.
The hi-hat sound potentials are numerous.
Oh yeah, that sounds really fun. Well, hey, maybe this record will like spawn a couple ideas for that.
Yeah.
The chiptune stuff, all the stuff we've been making for the podcast, I keep saying it, but it's really great. I can't. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good.
Nice.
Cool. Well, this was a good ep.
Yeah.
Good app.
Great app.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
All right. Bye.